Now today's video is going to be a pretty interesting one. We're going to be reviewing 9 pre-med books in under 4 minutes. So real quick, I have these books divided into 3 categories. So the first 3 are called lifestyle, the next 3 are called policy, and the last 3 are just about being a doctor. So we're gonna get into it real fast. Now first on this list we have The White Coat Investor. Now I'm gonna give this book a 6.5 out of 10, and that's because it has some really useful information for how you should structure your business and how you should do your taxes and things like that in terms of being a doctor. Now in terms of a pre-med reading this book, the only thing you pretty much take out of it is you should save your money and that you should go to the cheapest med school possible. So you could read this book in med school somewhere after that, but for now, it's not the most useful book. Now this next book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm gonna give this book a 9 out of 10. And that's because this book just talks a lot about how to get along with people, right? And that's one of the most important things you can do as a doctor. But not just as a doctor, as someone trying to get through undergrad, getting along with people and figuring out how to deal with conflict will help you through a lot of hardship. Now the last book on this lifestyle list is The Righteous Mind, and I'm going to give this book a 10 out of 10 because I think it does a really phenomenal job of explaining why 2 good people might have drastically different ideas about religion and politics. And I think as someone going into medicine, you're going to meet a lot of different people with a lot of different opinions, and you're going to have to approach them from a lot of different cultural perspectives. And this book does an excellent job of explaining how you should use different cultural perspectives to judge what is right and wrong, or to understand why other people think certain things are right and wrong. Now the first book on the policies list is America's Bitter Pill. I'm going to give this book an 8 out of 10. And that's because I think it does an excellent job of digging deep into the hardships of trying to pass legislation concerning healthcare, and it really does a good job of going over how the Obama administration tried to push through Obamacare. That being said, it is just the tiniest bit outdated. Now this next book is The Healing of America, and I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. So it goes into a lot of depth about the 4 healthcare models and the shortcomings that the American healthcare model has. That being said, it is over 10 years old and is quite a bit outdated since Obamacare was passed. I do think you can get a very adequate summary of the 4 healthcare models by just looking up summary of the 4 healthcare models. I don't think that this book gives you much more than what just looking that up online will give you. Now the last policy book is called Deep Medicine, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It talks a lot about how AI can help in healthcare, and I think it's a really interesting read because it dispels a lot of the myths that we think about AI in terms of medicine, like stealing a bunch of jobs, making everyone unemployed, making doctors obsolete. It's quite a lengthy book, but that's just because there's so much to talk about in terms of how AI can help out medicine. Now we're going to go over the first book in the What It Means to Be a Doctor category, and that is When Breath Becomes Air. So I'm going to give this book a 10 out of 10 because it is just one of the most touching books you'll ever read from someone who was and was going to be one of the best doctors. It's one of the most intimate books you can read about what it means to be both a patient and a doctor. The next book is Being Mortal, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. So this book starts out just the tiniest bit slow, but it does a really good job of going over the role of a doctor in prolonging life versus keeping a good quality end of life. And this is something that's going to be really important as a pre-med to consider when you become a doctor. And I think especially when you get to the ending, it's really emotional and you will definitely want to keep reading. And now the final book is called Do No Harm, and I'm going to give this book an 8 out of 10. That's because this book actually goes over case by case what the doctor is thinking, and I really like how it goes over exactly what's going on in the doctor's head as each neurosurgery case progresses. And because it goes into a lot of detail about the cases, it's actually for someone that likes the details about this medical stuff, a very interesting read. That being said, the doctor is European, so you can compare a little bit about how medicine is different in the US versus the UK. So that was just my personal review of 9 books that I really enjoyed as I pre-med myself, and leave a comment down below about a book you would recommend that was not reviewed that you think every pre-med should read. So now Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.